What's up, kitty cats? Welcome back to my channel. No, we are not doing a recreating medieval torture in the modern day video. What we're doing is an ice facial because I have a little like contraption thing that I put on my face in the morning that's literally just like ice. You know, I love my ice roller, all that, but this little contraption is like a jaw bra. People use it like post-surgery and stuff, but like I just wear it in the morning to help with facial swelling and puffiness and like keeping that down and whatnot. But I forgot to put it in the freezer, so instead I just did a couple dips in a bowl of ice. So yeah, apparently it's like a beauty secret that a lot of former celebrities or current ones use. I don't know, but I am really into facial depuffing. So that's that. I almost hit the light. Today, we got stuff going on. I want to show you my little task board. So this is something, this used to be my 60-day no-buy board, if you recall that lovely, lovely time in all of our lives. There we go. The focus is back. But now I use it as a task board. So you guys know I'm into my mind, body, soul morning. So doing something for your mind, like reading or journaling, doing something for your body, just some kind of movement, then doing something for your soul, like mindfulness or meditation. So I have that on there every day. I'm gonna put today's date. Holy it's October. Wow. Okay. And then I will look at my client list for the day. I obviously haven't done this yet, and I put their names on here, and I like create little boxes so that I can color them in whenever I'm done with them. Any appointments that I have that day, I put here. Luna's actually not here. She's with my parents. By the time this video goes up, she will be back home. Oh wow, she will be back home, but I was in Houston, so they were watching her. But I like never post when she's not here because I don't feel as safe when she's not here. She's not like an attack dog, but she's a giant 100-pound Shepherd Husky Akita, and I think that if someone ever came to my home that was not supposed to be here, she would not be happy about it. So I just don't, like for safety reasons, don't share when she's not here. But I normally walk her every day, and then my mom, when she was here, she added these two little things on there, so I need to do both of those. But then I also need to return my Revolve stuff that I don't want. It's in that box right there. I'm trying to be better about making sure I do returns. And then some basic tidying. So I'm trying to just do like little, excuse me, bits of tidying every day. So I did vacuum this morning, and then I need to clean the toilets, take out the trash because it is trash day. But today, I'm about to go do a very light leg workout. I am a little stuffy after traveling, so I'm not doing anything heavy. Before this even happened, Alex was like, please do not wreck your nervous system this week, because I kind of overdid it a little bit last week. So I'm just going very, very light today. Not doing anything crazy, but what we're gonna do is I am actually going to show you guys some of my favorite correctives for anterior pelvic tilt. So a lot of you guys have been asking me how I improved mine. There's some very simple, very easy correctives that I do every single time I train lower body, along with just some postural mindfulness tips and cues that have helped me. So see you at the gym.
When it comes to pelvic positioning, we're starting neutral here. So this is what we want to be aiming for the majority of the time, and is generally good posture. Then I start to tip back into that anterior pelvic tilt where the pelvis tilts forward, and then I shift into posterior pelvic tilt where the pelvis tilts back. Looking at my hands gives a slightly better visual. So pretend your pelvis is a bucket and my hand is the water line. With a neutral pelvis, the water stays safely inside the bucket, and then when I start to tip into that anterior pelvic tilt, you can see that the front of the bucket starts to tip forward and water would pour out the front. See that big dip in my low back? Your lumbar has a natural curve to it, but overarching like we often see with people with anterior pelvic tilt can definitely result in some low back pain, and it sure did for me. Now, as you can see with the posterior pelvic tilt, it's just the opposite, and the water would tip out the back of the bucket and it would fall out the back like so. We don't want that. We want a neutral pelvis. Step one is just to take a look at your pelvis, and when you're just standing normally, you know, we can't fix something without first developing an awareness of it. So just take a look at your posture when you're not really trying to adjust anything, and see where you naturally fall. And then for me, it definitely helps to reset my pelvis by contracting my abdomen and kind of pulling that pelvis back into its neutral position. Now, if you're someone who stands a lot, it may temporarily help relieve some back pain if you take a wider stance with your feet slightly turned out. I did this while I was completing my internship, where I would have to stand and coach for a few hours at a time, and it definitely helped relieve some of that back pain, that lumbar pain, by letting my low back naturally lengthen a little bit and taking off some of that pressure. So now getting into a few corrective drills that I learned in undergrad during our correct and assessment unit. For each of these, I do 2 to 3 sets of 8 to 10 repetitions, per side before all of my lower body days, and I just use these as part of my warm-up. So we're helping to lengthen some of the muscles that may be somewhat chronically lengthened from an anterior pelvic tilt, stretching ones that are chronically shortened, and reteaching proper contraction in the target muscles. So this first exercise is just called pulsed adductor mobs. So take a quadruped-esque stance, kneeling on one leg and the other leg extended straight out to your side. Your knees should remain in line with each other, so don't bring that straightened leg out too far in front of you or too far behind you. Keep those knees in line. Keeping a braced core and a neutral spine, shift your hips back. As you do this, you should feel a deep stretch in the adductor of your straightened leg. These are mobility exercises and not stretches, so only hold each position briefly, maximum a few seconds at a time. Be sure to keep your core engaged and to not let your back sag or drop. I also find it helpful to have the foot of that bent leg dorsiflexed with the toes on the ground driving into the floor versus allowing it to flip over and lay relaxed. That just gives me a little bit more stability. Now what we're going to move into here next is one of my favorites. These are pulsed hip flexor mobs. So this one is great for pretty much anyone with tight hip flexors. It also helps to reteach the difference between spinal flexion and extension and hip flexion and extension and just glute action. So kneel on one leg and have your legs positioned so both knees at around 90-degree angle in your starting position. Make sure your hips are squared off to the front and that you're not allowing one hip to open out to the side too much. Keeping your abs engaged and your ribs closed, contract the glute of that back leg to create a slight shift forward. This should give you a deep stretch on the front of your thigh around your hip flexors. Depending on just how tight yours are, that stretch may feel like it goes down a good bit of your upper leg. I feel this one very intensely as someone with really tight hips. Now, when you're properly using your glutes, the range of motion is small. And if you take a look at here when I'm doing it wrong, we have a big range of motion, but I'm not using my glutes. Instead, I'm flexing and extending my low back to create the movement, which isn't what we want. So we want to avoid misusing lumbar flexion and extension and reteach proper glute recruitment and hip flexion and extension. So you can see here, small range of motion, doing things correctly, not overextending or overarching that lumbar, but here we go again. This is what a lot of people do when they're doing lunge mobilizations. But again, small range of motion. Now, we have the good old-fashioned glute bridge. This is another one where people commonly use less of their glutes and more of their lumbar. So when we're truly using our glutes and stabilizing the pelvis, this is a small range of motion. So we're keeping that core nice and tight to keep your pelvis stabilized, and we're moving only at the hip to bridge up. We are only hinging at that hip joint. We're not overarching our spine to create the movement. And this is something that you kind of have to reteach yourself, and you have to feel it out. Now, you're going to see me in a couple of reps here go into our over-exaggerated posture. Let's wait for it. There it is. Oh boy. When I rely more on my back, you can see the big range of motion and the big arch in my spine, but you can also see that my abs are disengaged and I'm not getting much glute contraction at all. I'm getting range of motion, but I'm not getting proper recruitment, and that range of motion is misplaced. So retighten that core, close those ribs, and rely only on hip flexion and extension. So let's dive into the rest of the video. I'll see you. What is up, guys? We just had, I'm gonna call it lovely, but it was really like, it served the purpose that it needed to serve, but it was not my greatest workout of my life just because it was not allowed to be. It's still okay for me to train, generally if your symptoms are above the neck, you're not running a fever, and they're not getting worse, some light training is okay. I still wouldn't go completely balls to the wall and wreck your nervous system, but I just did a little bit of a leg workout. Both legs. We used both legs today. Love that for us. Can you imagine only doing one leg for the entire workout? That'd be terrible. You guys enjoyed that little anterior pelvic tilt talk. I hope you enjoyed the voiceover and all of that jazz. Like I said in there, I personally think that
starting to correct that, because it's super easy to do, especially if you're a female. You're a little bit more prone to it because of how our pelvises are laid out in terms of our Q angles and things like that. So it's also super easy if you wear heels a lot. So especially as a competitor, like doing a lot of posing, stuff like that, I am constantly in heels. Not constantly, I'm not like a business person that like goes to the office in heels all the time. But regardless, the way that you have to be able to pose for bikini, you have to be able to create that kind of arch in your spine. It's just something you don't want to have carry over into your everyday life. But I do think remedying that, or at least improving it, has definitely helped me with overall glute progression, in the sense that I can now better contract my glutes because my pelvis is oriented properly to do so. So if you can't create pelvic stability, and if you can't properly execute movements to the best of your ability, you're not going to get as much out of them as you could. I also have a lot less lumbar pain now, so it's all a win. But we're gonna go take this package to the post office and then go home and smash some food. So let's mail this shit off. Here we are. People are staring. It's fine. We're home and we're starting the breakfasting process. So I was a hobbit in a former life, in appetite, not in height, obviously. Maybe shoe size, because I have large feet. But I'm a big fan of breakfast and second breakfast. So I will make a smoothie bowl with some cereal first. Post-workout, my nails are disgusting. We're just gonna point with our fists. I'll make a smoothie bowl with some cereal first. People always ask me why it's green. It's because I use my greens powder in here and it turns it color. I included the recipe for this in an email to my email list exclusively, so sorry if you're not on it. But put some cereal on this. I keep it in these cute little jars from Target so that it looks nicer in my cabinet. But that's what the label looks like. You can use the code Emily for a discount. We're gonna do a Legion giveaway in this video, but not right now because I want you to watch the video. But see just how nice that looks in the cabinet. Also, they have a new protein bar flavor. I am a big fan of their protein bars because they are lower in fat and higher in carb than most other protein bars. Nice moderate dose of protein. First breakfast going down. I want to like share a little story with you guys. So if you follow me on Instagram, then you saw this, and I don't even know if I'm in the frame, hopefully, who knows. But yesterday, I got a reply to my story that was like, she literally has no boobs left, ... And I normally don't respond to like rude things just because that's not where I like to place my focus or my energy. But I was feeling very sassy yesterday. I had my sassy pants on. And so I responded back with like a question mark, and I was like, she is a human. What exactly did I say? Because it was pretty good. I said, I think you likely meant this to someone else instead of me. Regardless, she is a human with a small chest, is wearing a compressive sports bra, and is pretty happy with it. And then she responded back and she was like, oh my God, I meant to send that to my sister. Like, I didn't mean for it to be offensive. And I was like, how is that supposed to be nice in any way? Not that like having small boobs is an insult, like actually, but most people use it as an insult. And after that, I just didn't open her responses or anything, because one, it got pushed very far down in my DMs, but two, I just don't care. But first of all, I was like, damn, Coral told us that there was a troll in the dungeon.
Troll in the dungeon! Troll in the dungeon! Thought you ought to know.
But I didn't think it was here. Second of all, I just don't give a shit anymore. Like, I'm happy with myself. People are gonna be dicks whether I have big titties or small titties. Like, also, there's the fact that I like got my life back, and also there's the fact that like women are more than their boobs. So like, let's just take all that into consideration before we say shitty things about other people. and then accidentally send it to that person. So keep it positive, keep it funky. I want to eat my food now. I probably have green stuff on my mouth. Also, another thing that I have heard before that I think is a really, in all seriousness, good piece of advice, and that like we all need to do better about, like self included, is if it's a feature or something that someone can't immediately change, like if they have food stuck in their teeth, if their mascara is running under their eye, like the classic toilet paper stuck to your shoe thing, don't comment on it. Like, basic human decency? Like, I don't know. That's all I got. And big bowl of oatmeal with Honeycrisp apples.
Like having that full kind of experience.
Watching
someone said, I hate exaggerated
Samantha.
comments for views. Creators need to realize they lose real subscribers this way.
She's doing an unpopular opinions video,
Yes.
and I feel like I kind of want to do one for like the fitness industry, like unpopular opinions of the fitness industry. So maybe that'll be a future video where I read your unpopular opinions about the fitness industry and weigh in on whether I agree or not. But gonna eat this, take a little stroll, and work before I go to my massage. What's up, guys? It's about 5:15. I have about, say, an hour and a half, 2 hours left of work in my day, which is perfectly timed because Louis Vuitton fashion show is at 7:30 tonight and they're live streaming it, so we're watching it. But first, we're eating dinner. We're gonna have a big bowl of nutrients. So we've got spinach, sweet potato, shrimp, and hater mushrooms, aka shiitakes. Get it? Shiitakes. I'm a comedian. So we have that. Gonna put it on some greens. And then this stuff just launched, so I like drizzling some oil, whether it's olive oil, macadamia nut oil, avocado oil, onto my salads for some MUFAs and PUFAs, but Kira just came out with their CBD or hemp-infused olive oil, so per serving of this, you will get 23 milligrams of CBD, so if you're somebody that likes to, I wouldn't even consider that microdosing, like that's a decent dose. I wouldn't consider that micro, like this is a moderate dose. If you like to, we'll just continue to use the term microdose. If you like to microdose CBD throughout your day, that is a great option for you. So you can use the code Emily to get a discount on your orders, but please shop through the link in my description box to support your girl, because that's how I get credit for the orders. We're gonna throw all this together in this bowl. We're gonna put it in our mouths, because that's how you eat food. Quality education happening on this channel right here, right now. I'm glad you're with us. While we're waiting on this to finish, I'm gonna put the Legion giveaway in here. I don't put it at the very end on purpose because the little sneaky snakes that will go to the end of the video to enter a giveaway and not watch the video won't see it then, even though this is probably close to the end, but whatever. So we're gonna do a little Legion giveaway on this video. You guys know that Legion is my supplement sponsor. What we are going to do is we're gonna give away 2 products of your choice to one person who comments on this video down below. Let me know, what is your biggest struggle in your fitness journey and what is your biggest strength in your fitness journey? I feel like we ask about struggles all the time, but like, what are you best at too? So leave a comment down below to enter 2 Legion products of your choice. This is US only, so please only enter if you are from the United States, and I will announce my winner in the next video, whenever that goes up, so enter away. But about to smash some food. Yeah. All right, my friends, so it is almost 7:30, getting ready to stream the Louis Vuitton fashion show. That I love that a lot of fashion houses are streaming their shows now, so us peasants can watch them. But I just wanted to end out this video here. I hope you enjoyed being with my stuffy, puffy face today. That's a reference to my congestion. So I was taking an evening stroll, just a quick little short one to get my body moving after being seated for a long period of time, finishing work and just doing work today. And I was sitting by this little body of water and I was just reflecting on where, I don't know what it was that made me think of it. I think it's just like the air of October. And also I saw one of my clients, Augustina, just like posting on her story about how she loves October. And I was like, oh crap, like October was the time last year when like I went to DC with my boyfriend at the time, and like I met her and I met her fiance who is now her husband, and just like thinking about where I was a year ago compared to where I am now. This time last year, I was like starting to heal from everything physically. That resulted in a lot of mental healing as well. I was in a relationship that had been going like this for a few months at that point. And I was still trying to salvage it and trying to save it. And honestly, I feel like in a lot of ways, like I was not being fully honest with myself about, that particular situation. Like I was clawing at something that was like, it was like clawing at sand. And that's not to like drag him or anything like that. Like I wish him well and all of that, and I hope that he is doing great in his life. But just thinking about where I was then, and how much I was like, particularly with that relationship, mentally struggling then, and looking at where I am now, and like life is far from perfect now. Like there's still plenty that I deal with on a day-to-day basis. I still have plenty of my own struggles. I still have insecurities. Like there's no perfection, but there's growth, and that's something that I'm really excited about and really proud of. So I just really encourage you, like wherever you are in life today, just look at how far you've come. And even if you feel like you've not come far at all, maybe you're in the middle of a dark period in your life, you're still here. And that's progress. You're still living. Your body at its core is still growing and progressing. Like if we're going to take it really metaphoric, like, and really literal at the same time, your cells are still regenerating and regrowing and rebuilding each and every day. So like you're continuing to grow whether you know it or whether you feel it or not. So just like take a second to find a little bit of peace and a little bit of solace and a little bit of joy in that. Be proud of yourself for making it this far in life, and let that kind of fuel you to keep going and keep striving. So I don't know. Nighttime is when I'm the most reflective. Like morning time is when I have the most energy, the most creativity. Nighttime is when I'm the most reflective, pensive, stuff like that. So yeah, just kind of looking back. Sorry, I keep itching my arm. I have mosquito bites from when I was in Texas. But yeah, just reflecting tonight on all the growth and all that's about to happen in my life. There's like a lot of change that's about to happen. There's just a lot of things going on, and it's overwhelming, but it's exciting. So thank you guys for being along for the ride. As always, I love you. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Like I've said in the last couple videos, I hope if you feel like you don't belong anywhere else in the world, you feel like you belong right here on this channel, in this family. I love you so much. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and I will see you soon. Bye.
Where's the bear? Where's the bear? Oh. Hello. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I know. I came home. I came to get you. I came back. Oh, little bear. Little bear. Little bear. Yeah. Oh, we're home. We're home. We're home. We're home. Can you believe it? Come here, Toots. There's my girl. That's my bear. Are you so happy? Can you believe it? Oh, you're my girl. I missed you. I missed you so much. Can you? Hi. Hi. I love you. I love you. You give me kisses. Yeah. Yeah.